Hello everyone, the Overplayer back with another episode of the guide series to getting mastery challenges done. Today's episode is on the FN score 17, and as you can see, I have both the obsidian emblem and the obsidian calling card. The score was not too bad to do. It was actually pretty fun because it's really good in the situation I was using it in, hardcore shipment. I'm going to go right into the class setup so that way you guys can take a look at it, because I know a lot of you, you kind of know the gist of this by now and you just want to see what I'm running because you don't want to have to test it all out for yourself. So, I'll be giving more tips and tricks throughout the video because every weapon is different, but if you just want the class setup, here it is. I use the Cronin C480 Pro Optic because when you have a high zoom like this, it's much easier to hit the head. I know it sounds kind of weird because you never really see this on a class, unless it's like an LMG in Warzone. But when you're doing, even on shipment, like if you zoom in, the head becomes much easier to see, and you can trace it a lot better. It's very difficult to trace if you don't have a high zoom sight. The only downside is that close quarters you're not going to be doing too well. Thankfully, the SCAR has a very good hip fire. I found a lot of times I'd be startled because someone jumped out at me from behind a wall and I didn't know they were there. But by just panic firing, I would actually kill them. It worked pretty well for that, so I didn't mind using this. I use the close quarter stock and the stippled grip tape because I need to get that speed with this. In shipment, I'm constantly dealing with shotguns and some machine guns, which all have better handling stats than this thing. So make sure you have some good handling perks on here. The 25 round mags, I usually don't equip mag extenders. Even on the Odin, I didn't do this. But the SCAR is so bad with its magazine size. You'll, every 2 to 3 kills, you'll need to reload. And that's assuming you actually hit your shots, exactly on point. I would really recommend doing a 25 round, if not 30 round mags. I just didn't run the 30 because it then becomes beige, and that kind of offset the whole weapon. But up to you. And the Merc foregrip because the SCAR has insane recoil. The recoil is a lot and it's hard to control. I'd recommend, if you don't use the Merc foregrip, use a foregrip of some kind. Some people might say go for the compensator. I've been using the compensator more lately. I don't think the compensator would do well enough. You really want the foregrip. Plus the Merc foregrip just gives you better hipfire anyway. So might as well go with it. Okay, so now that we've gone over the weapon, let's go over the class. I used it, as I've explained in every other video up until this point. I used the Strela P because I'm still working on the challenges for that. If I'm not using the Strela P, I would say maybe the RPG, because just having that easy hip fire in case you run out of ammo is good. You could also run something like the Kali sticks or something like that if you need to do challenges on them. Or if you really wanted, well, as we go into the perks, I can say, for your perk 2, you could run Overkill, because then you could run the Riot Shield, and the Riot Shield will really help from getting hit in the back. Ghost, I would run otherwise, because all the other ones don't really matter that much. For perk 1, use EOD, because in shipment, which is the main playlist you'll be using, I assume you'll be taking hits from everything. And even if you don't use shipment as your main playlist, EOD is just so helpful. The only other good one on here is Cold Blooded, but people don't really use thermal optics. AI targeting is meh. There's a lot of grenade spam in this game, so I like running EOD. Amped is specifically because I like running the Strela because of I don't like running the Strela, I should say. I run it because I need to do the challenges for it still. If you are doing or you're trying to do all the challenges like me, the Strela is very good, or Amped is very good because it makes the rocket launcher's reload so much faster. Otherwise, run battle hardened because this will make it so you're very immune to stuns and stuff like that, which is really helpful in shipment. Lethal and tactical, as I've said before, these are completely up to you. I just use stims so that way in hardcore I can fully get back up to health. Thermites, I just prefer. If you wanted to use a sticky grenade, you could. If you wanted to use a Molotov, you could. Like I said, up to you. Alright, now let's get into the game modes, because I realize the game modes are kind of what make or break what makes this fun. So shipment 24/7 is the ideal playlist. Core or hardcore works. Realize though, in hardcore you will be getting one-shot kills, so that first shot's gotta be a headshot or they are dead. I personally hate that, so I think I went into core for a fair amount of this. I think I did some hardcore too, but I forget exactly, it's been a while. If you don't have, like right now you can see that I don't have shipment 24/7. It's the beginning of the season. And by the way, no, it's not in Weekend Warfare. So what I do is here are my two other recommended playlists. If you really like hardcore and you think you can hit that first shot headshot, do hardcore headquarters. Unlike other objective game modes, if you aren't doing the objective in headquarters, enemies and your team won't respawn, so everyone's super incentivized to play objective. Even if you're not directly on it, everyone's around it. So it's very nice to be able to do that. If you don't want to do that, Realism Mosh Pit is also really nice. So for those of you who don't know, Realism Mosh Pit is minimal HUD with different health and increased headshot damage. Headshots are still one shot, which is really nice. Body shots aren't one shot, which is nice because then you can let it kick up into the head. It's still going to be like a 2 or 3 shot kill though, so be careful. The only downside is there's no HUD. This means no minimap. This means no ammo count. This means I don't think you can. I think the only thing you can see is the dot and the squares for your kill streaks, and that's it. And you don't even know what kill streak you have until you like hold that button that makes it so you can select which one. Like for me, it's down on the D-pad, I believe. Maybe it's up, I forget. However, you don't even get to see whether you get a headshot. You have to listen out for that little ting, because it doesn't show the score on screen. You have to actually wait. In fact, you don't, like, I've messed up so many times, people dying, because they'll drop shot me, and I think they died. I can't tell because I don't get the score up on my screen. But realism has been a godsend in some cases, especially if you get realism shipment. It's very nice there. That's why I got a lot of my own progress. Yep, that's about it for game modes. Let's go and look at the challenges themselves. So, kills you'll get naturally. Don't worry about those. Headshots, you want to aim for like the chest, like right in the center chest, because this thing will kick a lot. If you're in hardcore, obviously aim for the head immediately. Even if it results in you getting killed more, you won't get headshots otherwise. In hardcore, realism, I'm not sure. I didn't know about realism when I was doing the scar, so I sadly can't say. I believe the scar does about 33 to 34 damage though. I think it's, or maybe it does, no, I think it does 35 to 36. I forget exactly what the damage is on it. Someone will have to check out Drifter's video, or exclusive aces. Once you do that, and see, like, you have 70 base damage, 70 base health in realism. It's a 2 or 3 shot kill. I'd recommend saying I'd say the upper chest for realism. Right around there, you'll be fine. Because then maybe you can hit him once in the chest, kick up to the head, twice in the chest, kick up to the head, something like that. Skill challenge gold. Using a laser attachment while aiming down sights, very easy. Just put on a laser attachment and use the gun. Sliding kills, do these in hardcore shipment, it's really easy if you do it like this because the hip fire won't be that bad. A tip while doing this, change the attachments around on your gun. Like use the 5 milliwatt laser, the Merc 4 grip. If you use those two attachments, then your hip fire like shrinks a ton, and then it makes sliding kills a whole lot easier because then you can just slide into people and they'll die instead of your shots going all over the place. 75 kills while crouching. You have to do this to get gold. You should be familiar with it. Alright, point blank headshots. You need to flank. If you don't know how to flank, then welcome to the struggle bus. All aboard. You basically do this on shipment because it's so hard to do on other game modes. On other game modes, you have to have dead silence, and then they have to not think you're there, which is very rare. Or in shipment, because there's so much sound going on, they won't hear you anyways, and then you just run around the side that they're not spawning on. Like if they're spawning by dumpsters, or I shouldn't say that. If they're spawning by the forklift across from dumpsters, then you want to go to dumpsters and then flank through that little box in the back. Just try to get to the side that they're not looking on, and then get right behind them and then pop them in the head. Also, look for AFK players. I've probably gotten at least like 50 of these things, not on this gun specifically, but just 50 total, just on AFK people, because I can go right up to them and then just pop them in the head, assuming I don't die first. Alright, but that's about it for the SCAR tutorial. I will give you guys a final look at the class. Not there. Go over. Alright, here you go. That's what it looks like. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you'd like to see more, leave a like and comment, subscribe, just interact with me in some way to let me know. And let me know what gun you guys would want to see next. I'm open to anything really. Obviously, if you want to see another meta weapon, I'm down for that. If you want to see something kind of off meta, I'm down for that as well. I've just been going in order really. I finished up the assault rifles. I just have the AN because that just came out, and I plan to do that soon. So stay tuned for that. And I hope to see you guys in the next episode. Alright, bye bye.